Unacademy. Let's crack it.
My goal today is to tell you a little bit about my sense of life. These are supposed to be life lessons. I really want to study mathematics. My parents actually were economists and they were very happy for me to study mathematics. My father actually loved mathematics. I was taught mathematics by my father, before I learned a lot of it in school, and he encouraged me, and I think the plan was very much for me to be a mathematician. I was 17 and that was not me. I was not fit for that particular life, so I just didn't. Eventually I told my parents, look, I can't do this. This is too tedious. And my parents were extremely kind and liberal people, and they said, okay, fine, but then you have to find out something to do. You can't just do nothing. And problem was that in the Indian system, as many of you are from India, the problem is that once you are out of that loop, then you're really out of it, meaning there's a time for every exam. So if you really change your mind, then there's very little you can do. The flexibility is all gone because it's all based on exams that you take between your, at the end of your high school. Again, many of my friends who were with me in my undergraduate were all going to go to Delhi. We were studying in Kolkata to study somewhere, and so they said, let's go to Delhi and we'll apply to master's program. We'll all go to Delhi and study there. So a bunch of us applied to master's programs in Delhi, and there were two master's programs basically at JNU and Delhi School of Economics. I did well in those, so I got into both, and then I was trying to decide where to go. And I remember a moment that was very decisive. I went to the Delhi School of Economics and I met a young professor there who later became quite prominent, and he was super nice and was trying to encourage me to come to Delhi School of Economics. And he told me, look, this is where everybody comes to go to do a PhD in the US. That's the next step, and you surely want to do that, so you should come here. And that sounded so boring, like another step, and then going to the US and like a whole pre-professional route to my career goals. So I thought, my God, I'm 20 and I'm not about to commit to a whole career stream. So I immediately, that convinced me that I'm not going to Delhi School of Economics, I'm going to JNU. I did my PhD, I got a job, I was teaching at Princeton, and then I got a chance to come back to teach at Harvard, which was where I had been a PhD student. And I found that attractive. Problem was, what would I teach? There was plenty of people to teach theory. So somebody asked me, what do you want to teach? I said, I had done a little bit of work, kind of theoretical work on what you could call development economics. So I said, okay, fine, I'll give it a shot. I'll teach development economics. And I had never taught it. I'd never taken a class in development economics. Literally never been a part of that conversation. And suddenly I was teaching PhD students at a place like Harvard. My life was shaped enormously by chance events and by decisions that were taken. So chance events like, this guy in Delhi School of Economics who was trying to make me to come there. I think his one contribution to my life was that he made me go the other way. And maybe, I don't think necessarily that would have changed my life, but I think it made me very, I learned lots of things at JNU, which I think eventually made me a better social scientist. So I do think that it did something important to the texture of my life. Decisions taken with much understanding of where they may lead. The whole story of JPAL is one where, we can, now that we've been assigned success, I could go out and say that, look, this is something, I saw the shape of everything and that's what made me do this. But it would be a lie. It would be a completely, it would be a made up story. I think we were excited about it. We were having fun. We did it. We enjoyed doing the randomized control trials. There were a new opportunity, a new frontier, and it was a fun thing to do, and it's always exciting to pursue something new. It just wasn't. I don't think we saw that this will get us a Nobel Prize. This will make us, have thousands of people who will be working in the same kind of tradition as us. At the end of my days in JNU, you might have read this in the newspaper. There was a lot of mention of it at some point. I went to Tihar jail for being part of a student protest. I don't think I did anything awful. I think it's legitimate for students to protest. It shows some concern about society. I don't know whether this particular cause was worth pursuing or not. I don't want to defend every cause and every protest, but I don't think we did anything particularly awful. We went to jail for 10 days, I think, in Tihar jail. And when I came out, we had cases after cases against us, everybody, against 365 of us. So we kind of figured that eventually we dropped, but there were lots of, attempt to murder or this and that, all kinds of things flying around. And everybody told me, "Oh, I know you've been admitted to Harvard, but sorry, you're not going. No, the US won't give you a visa." And so I was and to be honest, this is where I think I really wasn't particularly enamored of this particular file. I know, because I really wasn't that sad. The reason I say this is that I think because I was not so fixated on the outcomes, I think that had the wonderful side effect that I could easily kind of tolerate a lot of uncertainty. Because fine, I won't get to go to the US, but I don't really care. It doesn't matter. I don't need to think about the steps I need to take because, whichever comes, I'll be fine. And I could take snap decisions. I could say, look, yes, I'm going to do, maybe let's do a randomized controlled trial. Even though I was successful. I had a permanent job at MIT, which is one of the best places to be a professor. And I was, as somebody who was doing economic theory of abstract mathematical models. And so I was good at that. I could have stuck to that. I would have had a reasonably successful career, I assume. And I just said, okay, fine, I'm doing this, but I'm not sure I have so much passion for it. And in some sense, you discover your passion in the process. I mean, it's not that I didn't understand at all. I mean, I obviously, if you grew up in Kolkata next to a slum, you have some understanding that your economic theory needs to matter in the lives of people who are very different from the ones who are in these models. And so there was some aspiration inside me to make that connection, but it wasn't really that I had a game plan of that I'm going to do this or that. And again, because that setback, the huge setback, really didn't bother me. And that was a big advantage. You have to find what you enjoy doing. Let your curiosity drive you. That's the third. When you feel, okay, I'm doing this, that sounds interesting. Maybe it's telling you something. Maybe there is a signal that, your body, your head, there's something there, there's some wisdom there. You haven't understood. That's my story. Instead of working in my office at MIT, I'm going to spend a lot of time in rural Rajasthan. And that's what is involved in doing a randomized controlled trial. I'll do it. And maybe that will teach me something, change my perspective of life. Both to be successful and to be happy is really the same thing. You're successful and you're happy because you're doing something that's meaningful to you. And that particular, I think we're often in this bind where we all feel that this is the formula for success. This is the definition of success that we are given. We're handed the definition by society, and we often don't ask, is it really the case that others believe this? Because I don't want to question that and look like a wimp. So I don't question it. You don't question it for the same reasons. There's a conspiracy of silence. We all do what society has kind of mandated, but not because we really care about that, but because we have sort of we don't want to deviate from that, the path, the X degree, the Y qualification, the Z job, that particular way. And I have nothing against any of these jobs. One morning they were told no jobs. You lived inside your the construction site where you slept and ate and cooked, and now that's done. No payment, no salary, no wages. Figure it out. And transportation systems. At that point, we the only thing that actually didn't lead to enormous tragedy is the kindness of strangers. Many people like you went out and were generous, were kind, were willing to give things away. The state did some, people did a lot. That's how people survived. I think these three ideas, that we are in a very unpredictable world, that our economic system is very fragile because it's complicated, because it's elaborate, and the idea that we need to work together. I think these three ideas COVID has underlined all of those. They were always true, but they're more true now. I'm going to be in a place where I can contribute to society and I can build a good society. I think this is actually exciting. I think it offers an opportunity for us to enormous potential to do good, to do satisfying things, to celebrate working with people, for people, making the future we want.